welcome back, everyone. I'm Shinigami Tabris, also known as Boomer. Tonight we're doing D&D, except we're starting our homebrew up instead of doing the standard everything that we normally do. And with our homebrew, starting with a session 0, we're making characters.
Character creation.
Yep. And with character creation, it can be quite boring. We're going to be quiet a lot while people are filling out paperwork, answer a couple of questions. If you have any questions about D&D, today is the day to ask them, and we will try to answer them. Boop. So yeah. And to fill the dead space, I have background music for today.
Yeah.
Metallica's Die.
No.
Happy by Mudvayne?
No, I pulled up, there's a thing called Pretzel Rocks that I use, and it has like a list of different types of stations you can throw, and it's all license-free music, so there's no, I won't get hit with copyright strikes or anything like that. And today we are listening to Ambient Station. If you're watching it on stream, it will tell you what's playing via the chat. If you're watching at home on YouTube, I'm sorry, you just gotta figure it out on your own if you like it.
Creation question.
Yes.
So for fighters starting equipment, you have the option of chainmail and another.
Yep.
Can I send that for sale? So it's just one up. And then
That took a lot more space than I thought it would. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of ad-libbed it on here, and tweaked it.
14.
Yeah, you can start with studded leather, and give yourself 5 gold.
let's see, I've got apparently, I think my background is 20 or 30.
Okay.
So I can either just remove all that to do studded
What background do you have?
investigators.
Rich
and
motherfucker.
I chose the cheap one. Well, I didn't choose it.
Mine was comfortable.
Apparently I'm not a very good criminal because I'm at 15.
Mine's comfortable because my family's.
No, that's
Pretty-
your living.
Oh, that's your living style.
Yeah,
We were talking
well,
about like your
well,
backstory, like
no,
Outlander, Urchin.
No, my living style is comfortable because my family likes to send me money every once in a while because they love me.
Okay, calm down, Jester.
No, so basically that'd basically be you taking the chain shirt. It is chain shirt, right? Or is it chain mail?
It's chainmail,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
but I'm going more dex based, so I didn't want to use that as
Okay, yeah, so let's still do it the same way. You can add 5 gold to your character. That would basically be going for a chain shirt instead of chain mail. And then that would give you an additional 5 gold because it's 45 versus 50.
Okay.
Scam mail?
I'm just working on getting my proficiencies and shit done.
All my stuff was basically already
How to
done.
create the character you want to. You know, use human variant and pick a very specific feat to be able to do it. You have to pick skill.
I don't want to get scared.
Firestorm, we are doing good. We're doing our session 0, so we're basically creating characters. We're going to do a little bit of backstory talk, and maybe start our first part of the session, but we're not 100% yet. You have come for my soul. Yep.
17.
If you were local, we would definitely not mind people joining. But the question is what is local?
I live in Mexico. That's local, right?
Don't worry, I'm a pure AI intelligence. Well, AI means artificial intelligence.
Get the
so
fuck
you're
out of here,
AI
Skynet.
intelligence. So, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, Skynet.
Typically on our D&D streams, we don't look at chat, but due to the fact that like it is me waiting for them to make characters, answering questions when they have them, chat is more prevalent today.
Man, I don't get wild shape until 2nd level.
I don't get a fighting style until 2nd. Boo hoo.
I also don't get to choose my druid circle until 2nd.
Boo hoo.
But I don't know what to make. So
I don't get to make a
Gives you
duplicate of
time.
myself
Yeah,
until
gives you
2nd
time.
level.
You know, we're only going to be level 1 for like a year.
oh, maybe.
So it gives us plenty of time to figure out.
I got 2 ritual
Oh yeah, by the way,
spells.
guys, you start at level 5.
Oh, I beat your whole night.
No, you start level 1. I might be a wonderful, wonderful god to you about certain things, but no. Start on the worst that you can. Ooh, Star Wars campaigns. Those are fun.
Cool.
If
Sacred
they're done
plants
right,
and
yeah.
wood.
Was it a Star Wars D20 game, or was it a Star Wars like the new, whatever the hell that Fantasy Flights thing was? 5e rules. Nice.
Oh, I also know druidic because I'm a druid.
Oh yeah, that just comes.
So I know like 20 languages, guys.
Because why not?
Most of the savage ones.
I still find it odd that you're a druid, but you come from like a prolific family.
Well, if you read my background,
I haven't because
If you actually read my fucking background, you'd
no,
understand.
I mean, I figured it made sense with my background. Like,
is your background on the D&D Beyond or is it just right
it's
down?
both. I haven't edited the one on D&D Beyond, but you can read this if you'd like.
Full
I mean,
hours
that's-
Already
later.
working on taking
That's,
it from
that's
you.
something I'm planning on doing anyways with everybody's backgrounds and whatnot.
I just
I'll have
figured
to
it
put
made
mine on
sense.
D&D Beyond when I can join the campaign. I don't have access to join this campaign on D&D Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually got took down for me as well.
Okay.
Well, if it doesn't make sense, I can change it. But to you, I thought it did.
My background's like 20 pages of dots, and that's all I got to say about that.
Dot dot dot. There's like there's not an ending to it.
I don't know how to end it. I haven't decided on what his.
Okay. So the question is, are you still at the school or not?
I figured I was still at the school at the moment.
Okay.
Druids go to school?
Everybody goes to the
Oh,
most people
magic.
go to the magic school.
Oh.
That's the best way to learn it.
My character is stamped.
Is what?
Stamped. Been identified of having properties.
Okay.
I can't cast anything yet, but it is a character that eventually does learn magic.
Okay.
So with the Pantheon, when it comes to like religions and all that other stuff.
Yep.
Is that what you put there?
Spend 5 gold for an herbalism kit.
Okay.
You know,
I don't need to.
I just realized one of the other kits that I'm gonna have for this character is not gonna happen for a long fucking time.
What's that?
Did you know that alchemist supplies are 50 gold?
Yeah.
I didn't. I really fucking didn't.
Only 3 if you steal.
Can my character
Bruh,
go through more than one of the?
more than one of the pantheons?
Yes, like they believe in.
Yeah. No. That's a common occurrence. It's-
Okay.
But like a cleric has to pick one that they like receive everything from, whereas like a normal person, it's
It'd
that.
be like the saints. Be like, okay, I'm traveling somewhere. You know, ask a prayer to the patron saint of travel.
Saint Christopher, please protect me and make sure that I'm safe. And then, like, when you get there, like, whatever you're doing, like, you'll have a different saint that you pray to. Whereas a cleric will have, and it's still the cleric will pray to the different saints inside of his domain, but he will have one god that will,
Cleric of Llewellyn.
yeah.
Okay.
So he's a cleric of Llewellyn, which means he's the life domain, but he would be praying to, like,
Eltris, Lady Ayla.
yeah. Siren, please help me as we bring this new child into birth, or please help me, like, resurrect this person.
Okay.
Dynamin, let's fucking party.
The Reveler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cleric of Dynamin, bruh.
The reason why I asked because my character is more than he's not monogamous to one. So you got a male character? Yes.
Trying to confuse us.
Hey.
Always.
I was trying to do an accent, but I can't do a Russian accent, so
It's not this hard situation.
I can't do it. I've tried.
YouTube videos. It
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah, I was about to say, to
How I fucking
So-
learned.
yeah, to learn different accents, there's a bunch of different videos online that will help you. And basically, I highly recommend doing it, especially if you want to pick a certain accent and like spend some time just learning that one accent. Whereas people like me, where I have to do like 4,000 different characters, I start forgetting which accent. Yeah, they all start to meld together. They're
I
horrible.
mean, I have a pretty decent British one, but this character. Oh.
Human.
Where's my DM notebook?
So who's the? Like I know the saint is Boz. Who's like the god that I'd be worshiping?
In your notes.
Yeah, I've got, everybody has a handout.
We all have handouts with the Pantheon and
Oh,
general
okay,
knowledge.
cool.
Yeah, I'm.
So you
I
said
came
Boz.
prepared for you.
Boz is Boz the Lucky of Gamblers. Merrick is the god of trickery domain.
So, Index. It's confusing why D&D Beyond would do that.
What?
Oh, I've got a rapier and a whip, and I was going to use 2 hand axes. Well, it's putting the rapier and the whip as my dex, but it's putting the hand axes as my strength.
Because hand axe is not a finesse-based weapon.
It's a light weapon.
It is
But-
not finesse.
Yeah.
Light means that you can use it in your offhand if you don't have 2-weapon fighting.
Right.
It has to be finesse if you're going to be using dex.
Okay.
Now, hand axe.
Now, if you're going to huck it, though,
That
then
is
you-
strength.
Yeah, it's still straight.
Really?
Yep.
Shit.
Do they have throwing axes? I forget.
Well, so that's what
That's what a hand axe got turned into. Is it's that and you can throw.
Right.
Okay.
So that's where I'm like, that would be.
Okay, I gotta go print something then.
Actually, so I'd be closer to Tybalt than Boz then.
The unscrupulous? Did you say you were a thief? Or
No. Trickery.
I know he said that, but he said he was. I thought he said he was a thief. Oh, he was just talking about stealing shit.
Criminal background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean thief.
Well, you said it a couple times earlier. Because thievery is each fun.
It's funny that Ezra, balked at being called a scoundrel, and now he is one. Or now I am one.
Yes.
Oh ho ho. Santa in the club hanging with his ho ho hoes. Oh, dude, did you see last week's episode, Paige?
Yeah.
Sam's skit.
I skipped through it. Like I had.
I listened and cringed to every single one of them.
got into the beginning of it. I was like, I'm not gonna do this one. Nope.
The best joke out of there was when Ashley said, "No, Sam, I actually really enjoy your jokes."
So what was the name of your sister?
Susanna.
Susanna.
Spelled,
Well, she's
spelled the
called
way you
me.
think.
I spelled it weird on here, but yeah.
How?
I spelled it Susanna. I spelled my name's weird. Don't judge.
I mean, fuck, look at mine.
My character's name is very odd.
Yeah, it's fucking blank.
No.
Oh. Psycho Ben Richter?
Vaughn, not Van.
Psycho Von Richter. As long as it's not Rudolph von Richten, you're good. Rudolph the Redcoat Ranger.
What is your name? Belle?
Basil.
Basil?
Actually, it's Bazel, but yeah. Friends call me Boz. Don't fucking call me Boz.
That'd be
Yet.
really weird.
What?
You're just saying Boz and people call you Boz. It'd be kind of-
B-A-Z.
Just saying, if someone heard it, they might
No.
think that you were Boz.
No. No. See, Boz was what? Gambler?
Yeah, gambler.
Yeah. You're gonna see the guy wearing piss poor ass clothes with a fucking longbow over his back as the gambler.
Do what?
Name's Buzzell. Friends call me Boz. Or Baz.
Okay, Baz.
Or Baz.
Mhm.
Friends call me Baz. Which means, don't fucking call me Baz. I don't know you. That's my purse, I don't know you.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
And then I kick him in the balls. Okay.
Oh, you've never seen King of the Hill?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
It's an episode, like, body-centric episode where he's getting
Oh,
picked
yeah.
on. So he goes to,
He goes to a women's self-defense class.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. It's
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, Bobby! Stop kicking people.
Yep.
Dang it, Bobby! Quit kicking people in the balls!
That's my purse. I don't know you.
He ends up being a bully at school.
Then he winds up kicking his mom and realizing, oh, she doesn't have balls.
Dude, getting hooked in the front butt still hurts like a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Got to.
Probably not as bad from a kid, though. Whereas you just barely tap. And
Dude, the fucking, like, just the flick. God, that one hurts more than anything.
The mosquito sting can be revenge.
What is carnelian?
Carnelian?
Yeah.
It's an orange gemstone, and depending on how it's cut, it can change colors.
Oh, okay.
It can go from, like, a deep, like, orange, almost red, to a very vibrant, almost yellow,
Oh,
depending on its cut.
that's cool.
It's a beautiful gem.
It sounds pretty. That's why I was like, what is
But that's
that?
also why Llewellyn and Cryphella, the sisters, have the same gemstone. Life and death.
mm,
As life sends countless gifts to death, and death keeps them all.
Very good to know. Even thieves will not take the last 2 copper from someone.
Yep. Unless you are that much of a dickbag, in which case your party will hate you. If we ever find out you're stealing the last 2 copper off a poor soul,
They don't have the 2
Bill
copper
is-
steel. I'll probably just leave it in their pocket.
Oh, okay. I have seen that before.
yeah, it's not Tiger's Eye, but which Tiger's Eye is a specific cut on a gem, right?
No, I think that's an actual type.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
the
it's
thing
just how it
is
ends
like,
up getting cut where it moves along in the center.
to explain carnelian also, here's another,
All
Like,
of those are connected.
they're all the same gem.
Oh,
You
okay.
see how
Yeah.
drastic
One
the
is
color
like a
changes is?
super
Yes.
dark red, and one's almost a yellow.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha. I'm assuming you go by God of Gaia.
I actually worship 3.
Yeah?
The Mother, Yualan, and Lady Ayala.
Oh. So far I've gotten 3.
Actually, that also might change. Because yeah, you would also worship Dundar.
like I said, basically everybody worships all the different gods.
It's just who primary focus is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those,
Like, this guy is definitely a worships the gods. Just spending a little bit more time with a handful over the others.
yeah, because it's the, say, say something happens in your town,
Mhm.
and you want justice, you would instantly, and may Ralzarin give us justice. Like, anybody would be willing to say that. Even a cleric of another god is willing to, like, acknowledge.
Give a nod toward
Yeah.
someone whose domain it is.
Yeah,
Or even, like, town is being, like, corrupted by a tyrant that they can't do anything about. It's like, oh, Zoran, help those people and carry on.
Yes.
Trying to decide, because I wanted to have throne so that I'm still holding 2. A dagger's only a D4.
You can carry a dagger in your offhand. You can hand axe in the bang. Hand axe is still primarily going to use strength.
Right, strength
if
is
it's-
not my
Okay.
forte. That's why I'm like, I can either go with +1 or +4.
You can always try to yeet the living fuck out of a short sword. Because actually, that brings up a fair point on this. Short swords are also considered light. But
Light
because
doesn't
they have
matter.
the finesse property, that's why you can use dex.
Right.
And thrown is always strength unless it's a finesse weapon.
So literally, I could yeet a short sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can yeet anything. It's just, are you gonna hit with it?
There will be penalties if you try to
Like-
throw a short sword.
If anything, like, my character's not strength oriented either. He's got a javelin.
It's much like
Actually,
there's
no, he
a
would have a hand axe.
I forget what movie it is, but there's a movie where the guy like takes his rapier and he like pops it like a javelin and tries to throw it, and in the movie it fails miserably. And then he was like, "Huh."
Work better
In the
in my
book,
head.
it worked. It's either worked better in my head or the books make it sound a lot easier. And I'm like, the fuck? Because
awesome.
they're making a nod to the fact that like most of the time in movies they do these like obscure things, and you're like, there's no way that would actually
They, for
work
some
in real
reason,
life.
like, throw the rapier and it just pins.
Yeah. And he attempts to do it, and he's like, the books make it seem so much simpler, and you're like, that's funny.
It's like,
Then you know what? I think I'll stick with the dagger. So, going fighter, dual wielder is the feat. So get +1 as long as you have a melee weapon. You
Is it +1 to hit?
No, you have a +1 to your AC,
Oh, okay.
and doesn't matter if it's a light weapon or not.
Yeah.
And then, as a fighter,
Which I'm
taking
just saying,
the 2-weapon fighting,
you can
so I
dual
can
wield,
use
you can dual wield long swords like that.
right.
I don't think it would be very
mean-
accurate.
Rapier's
It's
the
not.
same. Rapier's the same type of damage, so.
Except for slashing versus piercing.
Right. Well, see, again, that's where I'm thinking.
On God!
Rapier,
2 rapiers. We call it
Okay.
needle point.
rapier, whip,
Now watch me whip.
the range,
Now watch me stab.
but of course it's also a D4.
Watch me whip. Now watch me
Now,
stab.
can you wrap?
You can certainly.
Because it doesn't say
It has reach and
it
finesse.
has, it
There's
has
no-
reach.
Can you try and like lasso the fuck out of somebody?
I want to say there is a like.
There's a spell that does it. That works very similar to a whip.
Oh, vine whip.
Yep.
Yeah, or thorn whip.
Yeah, I want to say there is a way to do it, but I don't remember. Hey Dan, how you doing? Oh, got it.
Yeah, combat maneuver kind of style rules.
And by the way, your pig's name changed again.
Of course. God, I never actually got that pig.
Oh, got it.
That's not my name.
We are building characters
Oh, that's
today.
what it is.
Getting ready for our new game.
Ranged weapons use dex, unless they're thrown. That's what it is. Because I was looking, I was like, wait, how the fuck does a sling use strength? And then I relooked.
Nasagi is still ill and has not rejoined us.
So there's 9 days of the week,
No.
10 days
No.
of the week.
There's 10 days of the week.
So
There's 9 months.
how does that work?
It's
It's
in
a
there.
10-day.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I mean, it gives the example.
oh, I don't even. Oh,
It's the third iron, so it's going to be the third week, iron being the day, or the second emerald of Elandria. So it's going to be the second fourth day in the week. So because each week is divided up as a 10-day, so there's 10 days. If it's the second emerald, it's the 14th.
it's gonna take me time to get used to that.
That's fine. It's and the thing is for you guys, most of the time you're not gonna need to know that. The only reason I give you all that information is when somebody says, "Well, you need it there by the next onyx," and you're like, "Huh?" That's where.
Okay, so if we need it by the next onyx, and today is iron,
Yep, you got
9 fucking days to do it.
yeah.
Okay.
Or if you overhear somebody talking about, well, they'll march during Merrick,
They're gonna march during
the month of
5th month.
yeah.
Oh.
So it's more along the lines of I'm giving you well, and the other thing is that I also gave you what the year is, so that if somebody says, "Oh, well, it happened in
875.
yeah,"
That was 101 years ago.
Gotcha.
Which means keep up with the handouts.
I
yeah.
got it. I got it.
Oh,
You know,
it's
I don't know what
handsets.
fucking day it is.
I'm just gonna leave them in my book. I have completed my character, by the way.
Yeah, so what I will let everybody know, we are leaving. You will leave your handwritten character sheets here. We still want to use D&D Beyond as much as possible. The handwritten character sheet is so that, say you have to miss a day, we have a written sheet that we can look at versus having to like flip back and forth in D&D Beyond and not be able to access certain things on your character, which also gives us the ability to write down like you've used X amount of spells, so when you come back you look at your sheet and you update your character.
Okay.
Later, Otagata. Hope you have a good night.
So the ones I have check marks on are the ones that I pay homage to the most.
So your character is done.
Yes.
I need an initiative tracker from you.
It's a plus.
No,
He's just gonna hand it to you.
you're gonna fill out a nice little sheet. On one side, we just need your name in big bold letters so that everybody can read it from that side. On the other side, I need your name, your AC, your DC, and your passive perception.
You need her pee-pee?
Yes.
He needs her pee-pee.
You said alignment doesn't matter,
It does, but it doesn't.
so we should choose one, but
Yes.
okay.
Because there's always the
And try your
possibility of
best to
there being a
follow.
magic item that shows up that requires a specific alignment. The player character gets messed up in their head and fucks up and says, "No, yeah, it's definitely this."
That's too well.
What's DC again?
Spell DC.
Spell
Yeah.
DC.
Oh. Like for a saving throw?
Yep.
Okay.
It's actually right there for you.
AC,
Passive perception.
DC will be 8 or
Hold on.
You're done?
Yep.
You think you're done?
I think I'm done. Of course, I had most of my character completed, like,
Last week.
yeah.
Let's see that whole character sheets. Yay! Collected my first death.
Aww.
Fuck y'all, druid! So what's
names.
everybody's race?
Name on that on both sides.
Oh, on both sides?
Yeah, that way I can like call you by your character name.
Douchebag alone.
Yep.
Gherkin Clinton, here you go. Just messing with you.
Let's go to the front side. I will put my full character in. So just make the first one. There you go.
Thank you, thank you. Chauncey? Chauncey?
Chauncey.
Chauncey.
And yes, my character's name is literally pronounced Psycho.
Okay.
Cause I'm a psycho. Yeah, bitch, I'm a psycho.
Spells.
So cool.
Spells.
How's that one spelled?
Soldier?
Soldier.
So that's
Soulddere.
I forgot to say where I was from, but you already know that, right?
You can buy anything and everything with Soldier. For a price.
Don't worry, just in case thinking is not your thing, got you covered. Gives you somewhat advantage on stealth for an hour.
Nice.
Someone other than myself, which I think is kind of weird.
No, you can. I think you can give it to yourself too. Can't remember.
First level, you can choose the action to touch a willing creature other than yourself.
Oh. Well, that sucks for you then.
Yeah. Luckily, I get stealth from a criminal background as a proficiency, so
Oh, yeah.
that helps.
How large a town is Farron?
Farron?
Yeah.
That's a fairly large town.
Fairly large town.
Like,
Does it have knowledge in it?
I mean,
like, would you find a bookstore in there?
yeah, there'd be one or two.
Okay.
Farron's like saying, in a pretty decent example of it.
Would Farron be Huntsville?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, size-wise and whatnot.
You said Farron was Stark, correct?
We'll get
Maybe.
there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Did you understand everything I gave you there, Leslie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
definitely up my character's alley. That's for sure.
2 first level spells and
So those of the Ebon Gauntlet.
Yeah.
What do they usually shift toward when it comes to alignment? Would it be like a lawful good or more like a lawful neutral?
Depends on which one it is. But it is lawful neutral or lawful good, typically. They do follow. It's probably more along the lines of lawful good, for the factor of they're basically used as elite guards.
Lawful neutral individuals act in accordance with law, tradition, or personal codes.
But the other thing about them is they're how's the word? They're used as like the guy who protects the like head chancellor of the whole country.
They're an elite guard.
Right. But one of their stipulations in their rules is if the chancellor is acting against the betterment of the country, they are perfectly allowed to kill him as well.
Was in that with this character that'd be perfectly fine.
Which still
He's a
falls,
fucking Navy SEAL.
right, but it still falls under the concept of like you're still doing for the good of the
Society.
country and
Okay.
society.
Yeah.
So doing lawful good. Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, one of the things about being in the military is that you are there to protect the country, not a specific person.
Now your job might be protecting that specific person, but yeah.
But you are doing it for the good of the country, and if that person has acted in ill will towards the country, as you said,
Yeah.
dispatch said person.
Dispatch or detain.
It is for the good of the country.
Yep.
Like Ivatra's thing was she was blindly obedient.
So where I got some of their idea from, in it, there's a point in the books that the idea came from. They are used. The magic in that book was very awkward, and you could eventually go rogue. Like the magic would eat. It starts to eat your brain. And if they have determined that you have, there was a way to tell. Like there's a physical way to tell that the magic has basically taken over your body. And if they could look at you and tell that you have been, doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the king of the world or not, they would just kill you.
Right.
Because their job was anybody who's let magic take over their full body will start to, they might not act erratic right then, but they will start to act erratic and the magic will control not the person. So eliminate, and in the book there's a point where like you get like really attached to this one guard and then the magic starts to eat him as well, and they have to kill him, and it's that whole like, what?
No.
You're killing him? No!
So I went on Hero Forge and created what I thought my character would look like. It's $20 and I can't get it until like tomorrow.
No, don't do that. It's $8,
Uh-huh.
and my sister can print it for another $8.
Okay.
Like you can instead of having them make it, tell them you want to download the STL or something like that.
Okay.
And then like we'll print it for you.
Okay.
And it's one of those, if you can't, if you can't afford to print it off the bat, I'll pay for the plastic and whatnot, and you'll just have to pay me back. I want everybody to have their own personal mini for this that's designed for their characters, so that we know what, who's who. So, and I'd rather you save money because it was what, $20-$25
Yeah,
plus
with
shipping.
shipping, it's gonna be $25.
Yeah. Whereas we can make it and like, we're not playing next week anyways. So next week I could have my sister printing a couple of them. Because they only take like an hour to print.
Okay, so I didn't know if you were wanting to do anything on the 26th or not. So.
I mean, I'm up for it, but I have a feeling most of you guys are. There are some people that are going to be gone for holidays and whatnot.
Well, I'm
It's
gonna
my
be with my
birthday.
dad and my stepmother.
So you're going to be here?
Yeah,
Same.
You're going to be here?
I'm open.
You're here?
I might be here if no plans come
Okay.
up.
So we might have a game next week. We might not.
He
That's
just
fine.
shows up at session 2.
Yeah.
Or we can do the continuation of the session 0 and figure out how people know each other.
We might get that done today because
Oh,
it's only 8 o'clock, dude.
And
Didn't realize.
But yeah,
It usually takes me longer to write, to get my words. My
I'm
thoughts.
assuming you're gonna give me an idea during the game at some point about the main goal of that whole letter, or do you just
That you got that letter.
okay?
Now it's up to you on the rest of that.
Okay, I gotcha.
I gave you a nice long fish hook,
I gotcha.
and it's a matter of you whether you want to reel it in or not.
Just wanna clarify.
Miss Shelby,
Yes.
you've heard us talking about D&D Beyond. It's a free website to make your D&D characters on. It does work on your phone. So yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I need to send people invites. I'm just gonna drop an invite on our Facebook page.
We have a Facebook page?
Messenger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Say, we have a whole page.
Yeah, I have a Facebook page too, but like,
Who uses Facebook?
Everyone, dude.
Just kidding.
I use Grindr.
That's
Wow.
not surprising.
I mean, you do act pretty gay sometimes, Gunyan.
Yes, because I'm always happy.
No, the other gay.
Fuck up.
No.
I don't know if that's allowed on Twitch or not.
Look at this handsome devil my character is.
So, can you do Dwarven Forge on your phone, or does it have
Yeah,
to
it's
be
a
on
website.
PC? I didn't know if you could use it.
Yeah.
Or not Dwarven Forge, Hero
Hero.
Forge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
Because
a
I don't
link.
have access to a PC.
I got
you
linked
can
on
do
Facebook to one.
Oh, cool.
Because I have a Dungeons and Dragons linked page that I have,
Mhm.
and they had a link or whatever. Look at my handsome devil of a character.
Kill.
Okay, are those scars or is that your phone?
Those scars.
They are scars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'll blow it up for you.
Okay.
Maybe he got attacked by a bear once. I don't know.
What,
So, it seems like Shelby's character may be the only female in a gaggle of dudes.
Are you being a female?
Thinking about it, yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the first time I'm playing a guy.
You shall have
So.
everybody just protecting you with...
You said
No.
that,
Oh,
Alden.
Alden, but he doesn't really count as a guy because
You said Alden
He was
made his
super
fucking
gay.
decision.
he was super gay though.
So you're
Flamboyant.
gender
Still a
fluid.
guy.
Yeah. But I only got
Still
to
a guy,
play him for
so...
like, I don't know.
2 sessions, basically?
Yes. So I don't count him.
Was he wearing khakis?
No.
Well, he's a guy, so...
He was wearing very colorful.
Does that have to do with anything?
She sounds hideous. Well, she's a guy, so...
She was
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
khakis.
Khakis. She sounds biggest.
He was wearing very
Nice.
colorful robes, okay?
Really?
And he had long, glorious hair. You know,
Long, glorious hair. Sorry.
if you've ever seen anime and you've seen like 30-year-old men in Fruits Basket and the guy with the long hair that looked like a girl, that's what my character was like.
So you've got your miniature ready.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. As soon as you pay the $8 for it and get the file, I will send it over to my sister and tell her print it.
Okay, because it took me like an hour to figure out the particulars for him.
Yeah. So do you have it on your phone or is it?
Let me show you. Let me find it real quick.
Cells. Sean person.
Hopefully it saved it.
If you didn't log in, it might not have. So, I'll just.
Oh yeah, I had it in my cart.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. So if you go to let's see, material, download.
Oh, okay.
And what they'll do is they'll send you an email with a file,
Mhm.
and it'll look sort of like that.
What's word of rate?
Okay, I got you.
And see, he's only this one's. What's the price for your
Ingredients.
$8, pretty much.
I think there's a code that you can put out right now that like can get it cheaper. I don't remember. But nonetheless, like basically you'll get, and you saw the girl that I painted.
Target's concentration.
That's one that my sister printed from Hero
Sacred
Forge.
flame target.
Okay.
Something else.
And to give you an example of the difference between my sister's printing and Hero Forge's printing, Jason bought a Hero Forge mini and had Hero Forge printed.
Mhm.
And my mother painted Jason's character, and I painted this one. But it should also tell you.
So, which one was your sister's?
That one, and the green cloak guy is Jason's from Hero Forge.
I mean, they look pretty good, both of them.
But that'll tell you like the difference in you're paying $20 to Hero Forge to print it and ship it to you,
Yeah.
and we can basically make the same thing.
Okay, I gotcha.
And the other thing about doing the $8 one
Mhm.
is I'm about to purchase for $10 a month. I get a bunch of different bases, and we do know how to cut the base off of the Hero Forge mini and like place the mini on a different base, so I can make other bases. And the other thing we can do, I'm about to purchase a spool of clear plastic.
Mhm.
So we're gonna print. I'm gonna have my sister print off 2 different copies of your mini, one in regular plastic for it to be painted, and then one in the clear plastic to where it'll look like that. So in
Oh.
case you ever go invisible, we just replace your regular mini with the clear mini.
Oh, cool.
And that's the reason I want the $8 one, is we get the files, so we get to make the prints,
Mhm.
so that we can do that in 2 different plastics, versus you paying $19 and getting it in one plastic, and then us having to figure out how to do a miniature that's invisible. And if you don't want to make a Hero Forge mini, there's a new one called Eldritch Academy.
Yeah.
Oh.
They do the same thing.
Yeah.
If you don't want to make yourself a mini, you can go
I think,
fuck yourself.
Didn't.
They
wasn't-
made the Tarrington Darrington ones
Yeah.
except for Terry Doty and somebody else.
Liam's character?
No, not Liam's.
The rubber ducky.
No. That, of course, but the character that was played by the guy who played Napoleon Dynamite originally.
Oh, yeah, the barbarian that had the
The-
duck aspect.
Yeah, that miniature
Wait.
was also made by somebody other than Eldritch Academy.
Yeah.
He played Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
Yeah, when he played it in the first campaign,
I
he
didn't
came
know
in as a
that
guest.
that's who that was.
Really?
Yeah, that was No, he was Napoleon Dynamite.
Motherfucker swelled up!
Yeah.
No, like, I didn't, like, I know the character.
Right.
I didn't know that's who he was.
I guess I don't think I watched that one. I had to listen. So.
He's been in a few episodes.
No, he was only in
He was in like 2 consecutive ones. That's it.
yeah.
Thought it was in more than that.
No, and that, it was just when the
Lionel.
character was introduced. Yeah. Lionel.
Yeah.
Lionel Gayheart. Gosh. Never would have known. Guess that's what happens.
That
when you
was-
discover
that was one of
coaching
those, I was
power.
sort
Holy
of-
Fuck.
I was sort of like meh about his, like when I found out he was going to be on it, because I'm not a big fan of him to begin with. Like, I did not like Napoleon Dynamite. But it was actually not a bad,
Duck Totem Barbarian, man.
yeah, it wasn't a
Yeah, I'm
bad.
fluid and duck. Yeah, Lionel was a Duck Totem
No.
Barbarian.
I'm not the character's reacting.
Duck? Duck? Yeah, I'm fluid and duck.
I mean,
How dare you
he's
fucking talk about
he's
that?
not that swole. That's a pretty recent picture of him.
I'm thinking of somebody else now. Could have swore he was like buff as fuck.
No, he's still very nerdy.
Are you thinking?
I mean,
you're not thinking of Joe Manganiello.
No.
no. I mean, he does have like biceps.
Yeah, like he's what he got
Well,
Yeah,
he
no,
was scrawny,
comparatively?
and
comparatively.
Yeah.
Comparatively, he buffed the fuck up.
Okay.
Gosh, Timmy, you fat lard, eat your food. You want me to make you feel better? I have old man hands.
You do.
I didn't know when I went to go wash the dishes at work that they put the fucking soap I'm allergic to in the fucking water.
oh no.
Lovely.
Ah.
Sorry.
That's okay. See? Now you feel better.
Yeah,
You'll forget about it a bit.
Is gonna be your best friend.
You'll forget about it in a bit. Because, you know, your dementia. You're trying not to smile.
No, I'm actually really upset about that.
Oh. I'm sorry. See? There's a giggle.
Because both my grandparents
Really?
had that, and they died from it.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I'm playing that lottery too, so
So I'm just like, don't
Why?
joke about that.
it's mixed
What
bag. I'm
part
next
of
on
the lottery?
either
like,
side of the family. Like,
Okay.
I might end up with it or it might not.
Gotcha.
Well, on the bright side, I will end up blind. That's not a bright side. That's gonna be dark. Very, very dark.
Dark,
I mean,
like my
we're
soul.
on the side of the table that are like I'm
I'm
considered
so
legally
evil.
blind right now.
No, literally have. I will have macular degeneration.
Voice.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm at
This stream got depressing real quick.
Yeah.
So, I am at risk for degeneration of my retina and macular degeneration because of being born.
Hey,
It's just continuing to go down.
let's stop this talk right now.
No more depression. Less depresso, more espresso.
Yay for darkness.
Anybody need help with their character?
I lost my train of thought on the backstory, so.
I'm gonna need help with some of the general, I guess, what would be going on in the capital city.
What's going on in the capital city?
Yeah.
The capital city is a hustle and a bustle. It's a major metropolis. There is a castle and a college.
Is it
Freaking
the only
awesome.
city that has a college, or?
It is the only city that has a magic college.
Right.
And
even clerics have to go to the college, or?
You don't have to necessarily go to the college, but it does help you learn how to control your magic better. Without teachings from the college, you will always have wild magic. If you choose not to go to the college, or you can't afford to go to the college, because it is a very, very prestigious, it's like saying I went to Yale or Harvard.
Why my
Yeah,
back
it's fucking
is
Ivy.
the way it is.
It is
part of
fucking
a
Ivy.
gang that could just kind of like make it up, or?
If you're not part of the college, you would still have to be registered as a magic user.
Right.
All magic users, whether it's divine or arcane, are registered.
What would be ones who absolutely refuse to go and also not registered? Would they be rogue
Yes.
wizards or
They would be
wild
rogues,
wizards,
and
or...
when they are found out,
They are dealt with by the gauntlet.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm.
Say what?
If you do not get registered, you will be hunted by the gauntlet if people find out you
I
magic.
figured. I was about to ask about what that thing was all about.
what? Oh,
The gauntlet.
yeah. Devon
They're
Gauntlet.
fucking mage hunters.
Yeah, they are mage hunters, and it is. Oh, you've decided to be like completely wild and not rein in your magic at all, and you just go casting willy nilly constantly. Okay, we'll come and deal with you. And it is an elite group that is. Most of them are fighters
Mhm.
that have magic ability, whether they have dual classed or they have taken
Which is my plan.
the subclass that goes into magic.
Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, and it is the whole we can cast magic to, and mostly what they use the dual classing for is silence, darkness,
Shield.
yeah, shield,
Oh, you
and
can get shield as a Eldritch Knight.
like blade sharpening, stuff like that. And then it is like, we'll just come and hack you down, because once you get in, and it is, magic is one of those, once you get in 20 feet, within 20 feet of the person, their magic is very limited. They're a lot easier to kill then.
Mm.
Blink, Misty Step.
Yeah,
Just for advancement.
yeah, they'd take Misty Step to get closer, but they'd also, if they have enough ranks in it, they would
Counterspell.
have counterspell, so that if you try to teleport out, counterspell, no, we're gonna kill you.
I
Hence,
gotcha.
my thinking with the whip, because, you know, spellcasters try to stay out of the 5-foot range to not get disadvantage, still get in on that, or also the throwing weapons. So that's my thinking.
You failed.
Well, I was trying to just hand it like that. My hands don't fucking work.
So what's your story, bro?
Well, you'll figure it out later. You don't have to.
Because
he
some of
doesn't
that
have to
stuff
tell
on
you.
that paper does not need to be said out loud.
Aw.
Okay.
Hey, 2 down, 3 to go. Actually,
Nah, I fucked up the gym.
somebody help if Miss
Of course.
Shelby needs help? Can somebody help her make a character?
I'm currently stuck on a loading page that will not load.
Ah.
D&D Beyond is freaking
D&D
out.
Beyond!
This is your first time building a character, correct?
She's built 2 characters that have not been played.
Oh, let's say it's usually much easier first time to use the book.
And it's still loading.
Loading.
Oh, your phone's broken.
Yeah, I know.
Mademoiselle, your phone is busted as shit.
Have you figured out the name of your city?
I have not yet, because it is one of the, like, super smalls.
Yeah, pick
But
out a
I
name.
will be picking out a name.
Yeah, if you come from anywhere other than a capital, you can pick out the name for your city.
Cool.
My youth aside, I am the current attendee at the college.
Like, my backup comes from Ditch.
Still keep contact.
I created my backup
my
for
youthful
the main
contacts,
character.
but be attending the college.
My character has to wait a couple levels. Or the backup has to wait a couple levels. Because Trickster. She's one of the very few that's not an Eldritch Knight.
So I'm guessing you've made your way to Farron.
That's why I was asking about that. It would be dependent on where it would be towards that major city. So if it was like we start somewhere in Mercius, he'd be heading towards Chris.
Okay.
Or Cress. He's heading to the closest place with available knowledge.
The closest place, probably for the way that the roads are built for him, would be either Titch or Farron.
I'm gonna write
Fair.
like bullet points for
Like,
history and
it
then
is
write
one of
it
those-
out later.
He goes in Titch, or he heads in towards Soldier if he is tracking,
I do not.
and then collecting plants and stuff.
So,
I should have one.
most of the major roads, if there is a road in your area,
Mhm.
will lead to the specific region's capital.
Okay.
And then from there, that will have a major road that goes down towards Cress.
And then Cress has
Crest-
a major road that goes towards Falterwing.
Yep.
It is Farron, F-E-R-I-N.
Yeah. So. Welcome to New World. Who dis?
Right. Okay, it relieves.
Bloom's Meadow.
Right
Oh.
now.
That, yeah.
That's a cool name. Yeah, I don't know what's going
Oh,
on.
I got all the
Or-
numbers and crap. I'm
Sorry?
writing down histories and stuff.
It is being
Is I'm bullet pointing my history and then I'll
cool
write
hanging
a
out.
like a
I
detailed
don't
one
mind.
that'll be available.
I was gonna say maybe rebooting your phone rifles.
Yeah, that too. You did have a lot of pages open. Where is your
Holy
messenger
shit,
right
she's
there?
the mom friend.
Me?
No, her.
Oh.
She has like 15 pages open at a time.
Leslie, where is your character from?
I was assuming Farron.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's where everything major happens.
Like,
Plus,
well,
I think that's also
that's
where.
where everything major in Capital happens.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna give you guys, like, at the end of our session or the start of the first session, you guys are gonna get like an info dump that I have yet to give to anybody.
Okay.
And it's not a handout, it's an info dump of, like, I'm gonna read you some background stuff.
Is the info dump just going to be general knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay.
And some
So
of
it's
it's
going
gonna
to be one of those make your fucking notes.
Yeah, keep notes if you want them, but also, like, it's the whole, some of it is the intro to the game.
Gotcha.
I can't figure it out. I'm not good at
AC
things.
passive.
I'm not good
AC
at
AC
anything,
passive,
it's fine.
DC.
Don't have
Yeah.
DC yet. So.
And your name.
I don't technically have one yet either, but I went ahead and wrote mine down for once I do get my DC.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get that to the 3rd levels.
Same.
I mean, you can go ahead and write down ADC because
It's not going to be able to go up or down until
Okay, so what would
4th.
what would DC be?
Yours is going to be intelligent.
Right.
Fighter, right?
Yeah. Well, it's fighter, but it's Eldritch Knight, so
Intelligence based.
intelligence. Well, I mean, it'd be my intelligence.
Oh, it's 8
mod.
plus your proficiency plus your intelligence.
Okay.
Same as the regular spellcasters. It's the same as how a paladin gets their DCs at later levels.
Hmm.
It's the same general concept, except I think they get them at like 2nd. Yeah, because that's when you get spell slots for Divine Smite.
Right.
So,
So it's 8 plus proficiency, so 10 plus mod.
until level 5, it's going to be your mod plus 3 plus 8. Unless that's attack mod.
did I legit just lose?
It may just be a flat 10 plus.
No, it can't be.
No, I have to look at a book.
Rude.
I guess I could have looked at the fighter bit here.
Actually, you can just look at that one. If you look at Arcane Tricksters, it's the exact same.
Right.
Oh yeah, fire. Yep, 8 plus proficiency. Yeah, spell attack mod is just proficiency plus.
Is that all check out, or is that what you're checking?
I'm checking that right
Do you need any help? Besides with that thing. You make configuring that.
I have
smart.
problems with the internet here sometimes.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Are you connected to
Or
the
not
Wi-Fi?
internet. I'm at
No, she's
my
not.
wireless service.
Yeah. Well, that would probably be helpful.
now. The city you are from, what region is it?
I mean, it's still in the
Okay,
region.
so you're all from. Okay.
Connect to the Wi-Fi. That would probably help your situation. At least some.
It's the first one, right?
Since we're streaming, I won't yell out.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
my password.
Good thought.
Mm-hmm.
Still the same though, right?
Yeah, it's still the same. Because that's all we need is people to hear what my password is, and then like hack into the system and like.
His password is I like wiener !
I like the penis.
Brian's like, what?
Thank you. So that checks out.
Yeah.
Where was your browser?
You just
Let's see. Close it out. Still have to think.
Dude.
it hates.
Dude.
So you should have all this, so you can still at least get that part of it.
I mean, I could create a new character on mine, and I could give you all the information to write down compared to considering what you're doing.
How much
Because I
these
have room for
tools-
one word character, and I could just let you
Does
copy it all.
what I put for AC make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
I figure that might be something you want to know.
And is your character registered?
Well, he's not. He doesn't have any magical abilities right now. He doesn't get that till 3rd level.
Okay.
He will, because
Let's start with a name.
So, much like in Star Wars, where they can like detect midichlorians.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
They
then he
have-
would.
Okay.
Here,
Yeah.
They can tell how you
Type it in there.
They can tell whether you're magically
develop
inclined
into
or
it.
not.
Yeah.
And the thing is like it's one of those they have a way of detecting whether you're magically inclined. That does not necessarily mean you'll be able to use magic.
Right.
Because say you never go a path that ever leads you into that magical realm, or you don't have a high stressor that causes you to like lash out with it randomly, you might never show the fact that you have a magical ability.
Right.
But they can tell that you are magically inclined.
Well, with his background, they would already know family history.
Are you
Okay, so
And so, yeah, I mean, he would have.
thinking?
So what if you were
Whatever he's supposed to, he would
Are you
have.
just regular
Okay.
human or human bear?
never could cast magic? Like, say you were a barbarian,
Yeah.
and you get like abilities that kind of mimic magic, but they're not magic.
It's not magic.
And then you get to choose a language.
like totems and stuff like that are not
So,
the abilities that some of the totems give you. They are similar to magic, but they are not magical in any shape, form, or fashion. So
They don't care.
anything you
Yeah.
would suggest? One of those. You have an ability score increase or choose an ability to increase. Which one do you want? Like must-have asset.
yeah, that's one of the weird info dump things that like comes into play. That I was going to give you guys at the start.
And then another one.
That probably should have been in a handout.
What?
The fact that they can detect whether you have any magical ability or whatnot.
Oh yeah. That's how you get registered. As long as you're not a
Now,
registered magic
Are
offender.
you a magic caster?
Exactly.
When do you have to register? Like,
Or
when do they test you?
weapons?
It's
Purely weapons.
random.
Weapons.
Okay.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a
that's
good
right.
choice, isn't
It was random test.
It's a random test. So like
Proficiency in one other skill, so what do you want?
for your character being from Alterwind, Alterwind has more tests than other places because it's real close to the college.
They even like would test like street urchins. They'd be like,
Basically, they would have and the way that they would get street urchins to come and get tested is they'd either offer free food or like a gold for anybody who stands in line for 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
And it's the whole like, wait, I get a gold piece for just standing here for 2 hours? And basically, they're gonna hold you there for the 2 hours. And when the guy comes to give you the gold, he's gonna be like, name, so that I know who took the gold. And you give a name, and guess what? You just registered and you didn't know it.
You registered and now you're on the census.
Exactly.
And also don't have to be-
Whereas, like, when you get closer to, like, Taberald and places like that where you're further away from the center of the government, do we really go out to BFE and, like, do a census? No, let's say we did and don't. So there are people that can get away without being registered.
But it's very difficult and very dangerous.
And the more you spend in the main towns, the easier it is you'll be noticed and like get registered. Some people register some people go out of their way to try to figure out like, is our kid worth money? And that is the term used. We're poor as fuck. If our kid's highly magical, we can sell him and get money from him. So we're gonna like test our kid.
Of my backup.
Yeah, we can test our kid to see if they're like a high magical person and sell it to somebody that will be willing to use that high magical person. And there are, like, in the college, there are people that are, their whole thing is like, we own 15 students. They are our students. We are paying for them to go through the college. And when they're done with college, they're going to come work for us doing whatever. And yes, the term owned is the correct term for that.
Unless for some reason you get bought out.
Very seldom you get your.
Very seldom, in extremely rare cases, do you get bought out.
Yeah.
And then it's basically just a change of ownership.
The other thing that could happen is like, say you start off in the college and you're like doing really well, and you do show potential that you're gonna have like good magic abilities, but you can't afford next semester. You can go take a loan. In return, until you've paid off your loan, you work for our company as a mage. Oh yeah,
Good
This-
thing I
this-
work for my temple.
yeah. That's the reason this world, like, I don't want us talking about a lot of dark shit because my world is a dark fucking place.
Well, I feel like my backstory was a pretty smart idea then.
One of the things that's known about Titch and Soldier is there is still slaving, and they do sell humans.
One of their main exports.
Humans and dwarves and elves.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarves pay good money for an elf, and elves pay good money for dwarves.
And humans pay money for each.
Yep.
Yes? What do you need help with?
Oh, just choosing, because I'm getting her used on my phone because it won't work on hers. And like she's.
I'm having issues with D&D Beyond as well.
D&D Beyond!
There's like a book, you know?
Preferably, yeah. That's
Yeah, book would
We all have
probably be good.
We all have them.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually gonna work it. That
race.
I was already working off a debt to the temple because I broke into the wrong person's house.
I mean, that, yeah.
So that could be my
You're
way.
at Wizard, so.
Way in.
No, my world is very gritty and
Kind of blew my
like you weren't here when I said it, but like imagine like
Come on.
King Arthur or Conan, stuff like that, where it's very, very human centric, but there is magic. There are like odd creatures that you can fight
and everything are.
that are not human,
It's
but
Look at the quick build.
humans are the
Here tells you where you
primary
That's
thing.
preferred thing. Tells you-
Camelot is the best example because, like, in some of the editions of Camelot, there are like elves and dwarves,
Mm-hmm.
but like there's like 2 of them.
Still been very much a fan of the Roman Salvation Knight version of the King Arthur story. The one with Clive Owen and
Oh
Keira Knightley.
yeah.
I really like that story.
That was a good
That
one. Yeah.
Especially because the people and places are legit.
Yep. What was the book? There was a book I read a while back, and it was mentioned to me via Matt Colville on one of his streams, and it has that like. It's about a guy who in World War I or World War II gets sucked into basically a fantasy world. Slash, it's not a fantasy world. He basically gets sucked back in time.
Wow.
To an extent. And it's this weird, but like, there are fairies that he deals with, and gnomes and dwarves.
Mm.
It's an interesting book. I opened the wrong thing.
Let's say these are probably better.
Yeah,
It's
that's
more
nice.
average, or a little above average. And minus the 9, obviously, but but it's still better than a
6
6.
service to the temple.
Cops are coming for you. Oh wait, no, that's a fire truck.
They're coming to take me away, haha.
It is a little bit flaming in here.
I turned all the heat down earlier.
Not this kind of. Sent to the college.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Clock.
Oh,
Okay.
3 Hearts and 3 Lions by Paul Anderson. It's an old book.
Yeah, no, that name's from
What's your background?
it's Paul, right?
P-O-U-L.
no,
Paul.
are you soldier? Where are you?
I would.
So got caught breaking into the priest's house and arrested, service to the temple, and after time, you know, washing banisters and cleaning statues.
More skill points.
We're like, you've got magical ability. Go to college. Pay us off later. And I need licensed tools if I can.
Diets of playing college. It doesn't really matter with that. You can just choose one. And now it's about your character, what they look like,
And you're from
all
Alterwind?
that stuff.
Mhm.
So like right here.
25 gold. I can't even
What
afford
hair
these.
is, their skin color, all that stuff.
Yeah, from Ultraman.
Like hair length. You should read that. You should read that later. Just fill in the blanks pretty much.
There you go. I figured out some intro stuff for all of you already. You know, how to get you guys into the game and so forth.
Oh, okay.
Alignments on.
Alignment? Are you good? Evil? Neutral?
Thinking chaotic neutral.
Well, it's second chaotic neutral.
It'll, when he finds the page, it'll give you some.
I didn't start the fire, but I'll watch it
what they
burn.
are.
You know the reason why I put neutral good?
I didn't even look
Oh.
at everybody's alignment because I could care. I care less what your alignment is.
You read enough of the backstory and the traits of why
Yes.
it's neutral good.
No, what I was looking for was backstory, traits, and if you're a spellcaster, what spells you had for certain reasons. And it is trying to like lock you into the game quicker.
I do not have spells yet, but I have latent magic ability.
Because your alignment is sort of. I still believe alignment is very fluid. You can change alignment pretty easily in 5e, and it doesn't really hurt you like it did in 2nd edition. But the big kicker is when it comes to there are certain spells and certain items that your alignment needs to be set.
The gods and everything.
Are you bringing back Dragon
There's
Bait
many
spell?
of them, and
Detect
most
alignment?
cases, you can believe in any
I mean,
of
detect
all of
alignment.
them, worship all of them,
That was
or
what,
none.
3rd edition spell?
Oh
think
no!
so.
Oh yeah, what he had? Yeah,
Mhm.
that was. No, that wasn't even a 3rd edition spell. That was an interpretation of 1st,
And if
2nd,
you
and
want to
3rd
know-
editions detect alignment,
Uh,
or detect good and evil.
Where it actually detected if you were good or evil.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a misreading. Even in 2nd edition, people thought that like, oh, it detects good or evil, so I can tell whether you're good or evil.
It's
Still can't say
false.
if you're lawful or chaotic, but
Mhm.
it can determine if you're good or evil.
I think when my dad did it, it was if you were thinking evil thoughts. I mean, obviously, if you're doing something evil or whatever,
Yeah,
that would do it. But
evil is subjective, much like good.
right. But I mean, if you're like, I'm gonna go decapitate him later for no freaking reason, it's an evil thought.
Yeah.
Depends. Is it a good thought to you?
Is the reason you're decapitating him to like because he's a pedophile? Then it might
That'd
be a good
thing.
thought. I mean, it's still an evil act because it should
Is it
be
because
used
that you
positive-
want to sodomize his corpse after? That's an evil thought. That's a
No matter the
twofer.
context, that's just evil.
But I mean, it's one of those like I said, good and evil is very subjective because a prime example that has been used over and over again in good and evil, you can be a good party, and you don't know that the bad guy is actually the person that has hired you to go out and do whatever the fuck it is, and you are furthering his agenda to take over the world. And you don't find that out till like 16th, 17th level, and by that point you've already helped him so much that you fucked yourselves and everybody associates you with evil. But in all
99
actuality,
gentlemen.
you were just thinking you were helping the priest of the local temple.
Got catfished.
Pretty much.
So, again, good and evil is subjective
Right.
based on who's looking at you. Farmers look at rat catchers as evil beings. Rat catcher being an adventurer. Because every time they come into town, like, shit happens.
Makes sense.
Are rat catchers evil? No. Do they cause problems?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Every time that fucking group comes in, they burn down another building in a drunken escapade.
Exactly. So that's again, evil is subjective. It's the same, and this gets into like a bunch of like really dark and crazy shit. But like you can say that slavers can look at slaves and say, "Well, I gave them a place to live." But they think they're doing good.
Right.
It's like when they say following the law is good. Okay. Concentration camps were following the law.
Yeah.
But hiding the Jews was illegal,
Illegal.
so that was bad. Because it wasn't following the law.
Legality and morality are
Yeah, exactly.
way different.
Exactly. There's a difference between just outright good, outright evil. It is subjective on how it gets looked at.
But I'm saying, like,
And by who.
if you start like a lawful good character, and the first thing you do is like go into town and start hacking and slashing people.
Yeah, that definitely is
Yeah.
awful good.
That's called murder hobo.
You're not
Hey,
really lawful.
remember those nice like? Do I still have them readily available? No. Those nice laws of like things that happen whenever you kill people in cities from Waterdeep.
Are you
Mhm.
being human?
I kept that on purpose. I kept
A very
this, the Waterdeep
It still uses the same height.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Laws
so
DM
you start at
guide
base
on purpose
is
for the laws,
2d10 for your
and
height.
if you're ever in a big
Whatever
city,
you roll,
the city
roll
random
2d4,
encounters.
That times that would
Perfect.
be added on.
Like this was actually,
If
I
you
was
wanna do that,
very
you
happy
can
with
just
the
make it
purchase
up
of
as you
this.
go, 'cause that's what I
There's
do.
been a couple of
I didn't
DM
bother
screens that
on
I've purchased that I'm just
61210.
like, why is this my DM screen? Like, you can put so much better shit on here. This one was good.
So are you saying like walls in this game are similar, or?
Some of them are.
And I was gonna ask more like specifically in here, like each deity has like their own
I'm
month.
28.
Yes.
How old are you?
I went
During
before.
that month, are like things like geared toward that deity, basically.
In certain cities, yeah.
Mhm. It doesn't really matter about the age, really.
Like they'd have a festival, like in the month of Llewellyn, they'll have a festival for Llewellyn, and they might have specific festivals throughout the month for her saints as well.
Like a festival for Diamond would be great, because that's just let's party, bitches.
Yeah. Or like if you're like you're a follower of Merrick, so during Merrick's month, they'll probably have a they won't support him as well, but like some of the places will do like, oh, special gambling night due to the fact it's
Half
the
off
month of
chips.
yeah, or something like
Boss
that.
night.
Yeah.
No.
Boz is with us. Come and try your luck here tonight. We opened a gambling den, and it's a one-time thing for like this weekend at this tavern, where you can come gamble at the tavern, and otherwise that isn't there normally.
Like a good old-fashioned game of
that's like
Eastern
one
Hold'em.
level, and then there's other things too, so you don't always have to. You don't have to choose more than like 2 if you want, and you just go back and click on the next one. If you want to go back. Oops.
Israel, hold. Trying to come up with like Israel.
Oh, Isran is the name of the little country.
Oh, okay. I was like, huh? Now it don't. Now it makes sense. I was looking at the different gods because we were talking about gods and saints, and I'm going through the. I was like, I don't remember that one as a. Like the name's familiar, but like I don't remember
we can
that
have a
as
game of Eastern Hold'em legally at the bar on the night of Boz.
Oh wow, my internet's going to shit. We dropping frames like there's no tomorrow.
Whoopsies!
Mhm.
It can't hold up to my beauty.
Your beauty. How about my beauty?
Don't make me keep making old jokes.
I mean, old jokes are talking about the.
I
80s.
apologize for starting that.
Old jokes also don't really work when she's the youngest person in the fucking room.
Hey,
Yes?
not the mama.
And then when people
That's
look at you
a-
crazy, just be like,
That's a
"Sickle
fucking
reference."
show.
I love.
That's a show I
It
hadn't
was
heard
funny.
of, thought of in a while.
Dinosaur.
I hadn't thought of that show in a fucking while.
And all I have to say is everybody who got that, it shows how old you are because that show has been. It had like
I had
2
the-
seasons.
I had the fucking movie on VHS.
which was just the season finale.
Yeah.
I started watching Alf recently.
Oh god,
Oh man.
that's not horrible. Like I tried to
It was
rewatch.
so bad, but
I was about to say I tried to rewatch that a couple of years back, and I just could. I got partway through it and was like, I can't keep doing this. It was bad.
No.
it
I'm recommending it.
easier after season 1.
Season 1 was hard. Yeah.
Your backstory.
Something caught your attention.
I just heard like a wow.
You heard that
something.
thump?
Choose more than that. if
Was
you
it the
want,
door maybe?
No.
but
It was something
I
down
only
the
choose
road.
two
No, it sounded like it was from right here.
for
Oh.
me,
Go get him, babe. Go get him.
depending on how my character
Oh,
is.
hey, look, the door's open.
Oh, cool. Why do you keep doing
Was
that?
your trash can knocked over before?
It's
No.
the raccoons!
That was it.
I didn't even hear anything.
It was either a raccoon or a possum.
My perceptions were
It's 21
far
minutes.
off.
Your passive perception
I
did
really
not
like
meet the
the low
raccoon's
numbers.
stealth check.
This guy's likes me.
Paige's passive perception met the raccoon's
That
stealth
page
check.
likes me.
Paige's passive perception met the raccoon's stealth check.
The trash can falling over.
Who
Well,
goes
natural one.
there? Walks around with a sword.
No,
Must have been
no,
my
it wasn't a
imagination.
natural one. It was definitely a like whatever caused it. Like it had a decent stealth. It didn't have a great stealth
Yeah.
because you caught it and a couple other people caught it, but other people missed it. So it rolled high enough that some people were spooked. Either that or somebody rolled a
No,
two.
it's my
Well, no, because
collection.
that's still passive perception, so you have a passive.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it if you don't have the collection.
Brian, don't take my dice.
The dice likes me. They're pink.
Don't take my dice.
Your dice like me. Until it's time to actually play the game, and then every dice is gonna fucking hate me. Like always.
I should write domain down next to these two spells
Yeah, I would.
because they're
Yeah,
not
'cause you may
part of
think-
my spell
Yeah,
selection.
You may forget that those are not part of your prepared list, or always prepared.
I wrote down ritual for the two ritual spells I had.
Yep.
In parentheses.
That way you know you can cast it as a ritual.
Yeah.
10 minutes plus a minute per spell level.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Answer.
Tobacco or that kind of thing. Would that be
Addictive substances.
something in the region?
Tobacco? Yeah.
What about that green?
Are you talking about other substances that people smoke?
Hobblin'.
Yes.
They are probably there, but does your character know how to get it?
No.
Every character should know. If you need it, go to Soul Deer.
Actually, I could probably tell you where it is with my background.
Nice.
Can find City Watch outposts and points of criminal activity.
Just find a character.
May not
with
be
the title
welcome
of the
there,
green.
But I can find it.
You know it's him.
Catch me. Smoking my pipe. Nurse.
It has bubbles coming out of it.
You blow it. It's just a puff of smoke in the air. It's like, do you see a pirate
Rangers and
ship there,
druids, man. Rangers and druids.
Well, so that's what I was trying to
There's a fucking
decide.
pirate ship
on-
out,
I
man.
mean, druids can do whatever, because.
No, but
Druid crap.
Druidcraft.
Marijuana. Just sprout a marijuana plant in your hands.
it's planted. You're gonna be a good little boy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Snip, grind, peat, snip, piece, grind, roll.
I forget, what was it that Scanlan was trying to get?
Spice.
Spice.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
were talking about the
spice.
actual drug. The actual drug is soup.
Yeah, no, he got soot leather, but it was spice for
Hey,
the
use
longest.
spice. Use spice.
Do you spice?
Use spice.
Do you spice? This didn't do anything for me when I snorted it. Maybe it's something you smoke? No.
Maybe you have to shove it up your butt.
Yeah.
It burns! All it was cooking spice.
Yeah.
Then there's soup.
But yeah, no, because I
Do you
was
have any specific
depending on
notes,
how many
like
they're
allied,
smoking a
backstory,
pipe
the most
or
important thing.
smoking cigars.
Like ad lib your backstory the best
But
you
depending
can
on the
You said you're
Ability.
City Watch, right?
Yeah.
You smoke criminals.
Like what made you
Well,
what, how
investigator
did you
helping City
become
Watch. She's not actually
Ah.
part of City
what you
Watch.
are?
Oh, so you're a PI.
What are you looking
You're a
for?
CI.
Why
You're a
are you
snitch.
doing what you're
No.
doing?
You're
Yeah,
a snitch.
very much more like
You're a snitch.
It wouldn't be like City Watch, City Guard. It'd be more like our two friends from Waterdeep.
No, they were
They were City Watch, yes, but they were investigators. That's what I'm meaning. Is he wouldn't have been a patrolman type guy. He'd be an investigator.
He's like a detective.
Detective?
So a train snitch. So a train snitch.
Which is great for new
Keeping
criminal
tabs on a thieving priest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a criminal.
I'm not a criminal either.
You said you were good.
I
I'm a
promise you
very good
100% this
person.
character's not a criminal.
My person is
Unless
literally
you count poaching.
all about knowledge and magic and
Mm,
life
yeah.
and
Yeah.
traveling the world.
Yeah, he's mostly like investigating like murders, that kind of thing, but especially involving magic.
Well, I mean, there may be a slight criminal aspect to this, depending on... Oh, is that, like, a rare specimen that can't be killed? Well, I'm gonna kill it anyways, just to see what, like, its venom actually does, and shit like that. I want them rare and fucking, like, collective ingredients, man. Hey, I hear that bald eagle over there. Its tears produce potions of fucking freedom. Let's get them. Bald eagles cry tears of freedom.
No, he's looking at your book.
Your book?
Oh yeah.
Almost that on. There's a couple that are just mirrored differently.
Like your triangle.
This one's upside down compared to that. This one's upside down compared to that.
And that
This
one
one is
doesn't.
correct. This one is a top
Different angle.
view.
Yeah.
Upside down comparatively.
These look like they're straight ons or like
Yeah,
slightly.
they're all angled. Mine's top view on this one, and everything else is angled with seeing underneath.
So how old is everybody?
23.
28.
22.
Holy fuck, you people are old.
19.
Oh, 24.
Holy fuck, you people are old.
Wow, I'm the oldest one in the group.
28 is actually old.
I know.
No, for like this, like you're considered a fucking adult at 16.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say 28 is old.
It's pushing it.
And he's almost 30.
Like, what,
trying to say.
25 is considered like middle age?
He spent most of his life. He spent most of his adult life at
There's
the
something around
college
in there.
trying to.
No, like a 50-year-old's adult, like when you hit 50, you're really an old man, and like if you live to be 60, like
Holy crap.
yeah.
You're
So
almost
it's
middle
40,
age.
45 I guess would be old age.
You're almost middle age, like, if not past it.
So.
You old biddy.
You were just so funny.
Yeah, I am,
making fun of
like-
you for being old.
Yeah, my
no.
character's 23, but also has a reason for being 23.
My character spent most of his adult life at the college trying to reign in that power.
And you're only level 1?
Yeah.
God, you must be a really shit
The
student.
slow
I am.
study.
Let's just say no, I'm not.
That intelligence.
You're in
score.
you're in the gifted class, weren't you?
No.
Year 3. Color is red. Only proves a point.
So I call it a college, but it is like it's
It's
more
like an
of
academy.
Yeah, it's more like an academy. Like there are kids, like 12-year-olds there.
College is on like Forest, right?
No, that's the university.
The university, that's it.
The university.
Yeah.
And it is
Yeah.
it is a mage college.
Yeah.
Or mages, and it is.
If College of Alterwyn is Yale, university is like Harvard and
Yeah.
the third combined. Yeah, Cambridge.
Like Oxford.
Oxford, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
like it's if Oxford and Harvard had a love child, that was taught exclusively by Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. So like the other going to the other continent school is, and it is a prestigious mage school. It's not. There are no sorcerers. There are no wizards. There are nothing but wizards there, and they are snooty shits that.
I went to the university and graduated 8th of my class because, well, 1st through 7th had more money.
And that's, if you think about it, you could be going to the university, and that's the reason you take the, what is it, acolyte feat, or the what, or
Yeah.
what's the
The
one
background?
for mages?
Sage.
Sage. Where like, I've spent the last 10 years doing studies, and they're finally letting me into the good books.
They're offering you the restricted section. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Oh, wait, away. It's Leviosa.
So,
So,
something everybody should know.
I need my notebook for this.
Oh shit, I forgot to write down who won that fight.
Oh shit,
Well,
which
I've got
brother?
that keen mind.
Which brother?
So I don't have to write it down.
What? What?
Did you take the fucking Keen Mind feat again?
No.
Good.
I got
there
an
we
intelligence
go.
of 10. No.
Okay.
So, the current ruler of the whole nation. It is well known. He was one of the brothers in the war
Oh shit.
between the Wild Mages, or the Wild Mage War, and that is Carius. His brother Corvin is dead.
Carrius.
I-O-U-S.
IOUS.
So, who is it?
Carius.
He will carry us into the future.
How do you
Exactly.
spell that again?
I just created a
C-A-R-R-I-O-U-S.
mnemonic device. I don't need keen mind. Got it.
Curious.
And this is the ruler of Tyria.
So, why did they have to fight over it?
Hey, cool. History.
There you go.
History check.
I mean, I could do that.
I'm assuming one of them was an asshole.
So
Well-
basically, they argued over the way that the college was teaching, and the fact that the college was starting to overstep its boundaries, and the two brothers were on opposing sides of it, and they ended up being the leaders of the two opposing sides, and eventually a war was brought in on how to